Message.
Please tell me, Sarah, why you would be a dumb enough to put a brand new picture of you and Josh at the beach. Seriously, I told you to watch your back and not to chill with him. Now your ass is mine, and I'm guaranteeing you I'm no letting you know that now, because you know what? Josh might have played me, but bitch, I'm going to play your ass out too. Watch. You're a fat bitch, and I'm going to swear on my life. Watch out your window when I get off work tonight, you dumb bitch.
End of message.
On the warm evening of April 14th, 2009, in Pinellas Park, Florida, jealousy simmered beneath the humid air.
Next message.
It's so funny how you talk and you want to sit there and say that my man was at your house. Then tell me what he was wearing tonight, Sarah. You're a dumb bitch for real. If you're lying, I'm going to find you and I'm going to beat your ass. If you're not lying, I'm going to find you and beat your ass.
19-year-old Rachel Wade sat in her car, clutching a kitchen knife, frustrated and exhausted by months of fighting over her ex-boyfriend, Joshua Camacho. Around midnight, headlights approached. Sarah Ludemann, just 18, had arrived with friends. Heated words turned to shouts in the dimly lit street. Sarah laughed, daring Rachel to act. Within seconds, the argument exploded into chaos, screams, shoving, and a flash of metal. A neighbor's porch light flicked on just as Sarah collapsed onto the pavement, bleeding from her chest. Paramedics rushed her to the hospital, but the night ended in tragedy. Sarah was pronounced dead at 2:29 a.m. Police traced the fight to Rachel, who had thrown away the knife in panic. So, the cops brought her in for interrogation, and today we will focus on the psychological elements of this interrogation.
You know what? Let me trade seats with you here. I need a bigger chair than you do. There you go. Make sure I have all your information right as well. You know where you're at right now? Okay. Is it Rachel, R-A-C-H-E-L, is that right?
Yeah.
What's your middle initial?
M.
What's that for?
Marie.
Marie?
Mm-hmm.
M-A-R-I-E?
Yeah.
Wade, W-A-D-E?
Yeah.
And your date of birth is February 27th, 1990?
Yeah.
And then you're over at Shadow Run, is that where you're staying at?
Mm-hmm.
On Belcher Road, right?
Yeah.
What's the apartment?
P.
That's Largo mailing address, right?
Yeah.
Zip 33773?
33771.
1. You have a home phone there?
No.
You have a cell?
Yeah.
What's that?
7.
Is that a Verizon number or?
Metro.
It's Metro. Where are you working at now?
Applebee's.
What are you doing for them?
Serving.
Which Applebee's?
Park Place.
So the one at the mall?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How long have you been there?
Almost a year. About 10 months.
What shift do you usually work?
Night. It's like 4 to 2 in the morning.
At the beginning, the detective uses a calm, conversational tone, offering Rachel a chair, verifying basic details, and making her feel safe. This isn't just small talk, it's deliberate rapport building. According to rapport building theory, creating a sense of normalcy and respect encourages suspects to lower their psychological defenses. When a suspect perceives the investigator as non-threatening, they're more likely to talk freely and reveal contradictions later. By presenting himself as patient and professional, the detective subtly makes Rachel believe she's in control, when, in reality, she's stepping deeper into a controlled psychological environment.
I appreciate you out there allowing us to looked through your car. You know, I went through the consent search with you. I appreciate that. And then I had talked to you about coming back here to kind of answer some questions and figure out what's going on. And you agreed to do that. Is that correct? Okay. I want to talk to you obviously about what's been going on that led up to this. I guess you said there's obviously some history to this, and then obviously what happened tonight. All right, you want to talk about that stuff? Okay. What I'm going to do is, have you ever been arrested before for any reason?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to understand that right now you're not under arrest. Okay, you came back here voluntarily with us, and I appreciate that. Okay, but I would like to talk to you about this. In doing so, I want to read you your rights. Okay, have you had them read to you before?
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't understand something, please stop me and I will explain it to you. Okay. If for whatever reason you have a question, we'll stop and talk about it. Okay. Are you under the influence of any alcohol or drugs at this time? Okay. Do you take any medication for any reason?
No.
Okay. No alcohol tonight?
No.
And can you read and write English okay?
Yeah.
What was the last grade you finished in school?
I got my GED.
You do have your GED? Any college at all? No. Where'd you get your GED at?
Dixie Holland.
The night school?
Day, actually.
Okay.
The detective repeatedly emphasizes that Rachel isn't under arrest and came here voluntarily. This is a textbook example of the foot-in-the-door technique. By making her agree to small, harmless steps, like confirming information, signing consent forms, and agreeing to talk, the detective increases the likelihood she'll agree to bigger disclosures later. Rachel's early compliance effectively traps her in a self-created sense of obligation to keep talking.
Do you live with anybody else at that apartment?
No.
It's just your...
Mm-hmm.
Do you have family down here at all?
Yeah, my parents.
All right, listen to these carefully. Like I said, if there's something you don't understand, stop me and I'll explain it to you. Otherwise, I just need a yes or no response from you so I can record it, okay? And that's, like I said, is what we're going to talk about. Do you understand that you have the right to remain silent?
Yeah.
I'm just going to record your responses so you know what they are, and then I'll show it to you. Anything that you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
You understand that you have the right to remain, you have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
And you understand that if you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
And you understand that you can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. You understand that, right?
Yeah.
And you understand each of these rights as I've explained them to you? And having those rights in mind, obviously, like I said, I want to talk to you about what's been going on in the past and what happened tonight. You willing to speak with us now?
Yeah.
What I want you to do is look this form over. Make sure that...
Throughout the early questioning, the detective speaks slowly and clearly, using familiar and simple language. This induces cognitive ease, a state where the brain feels comfortable processing information. When people experience cognitive ease, they become more trusting and less critical of the speaker. The detective leverages this to make Rachel associate his words with honesty and safety. Once she relaxes, her responses start to flow naturally, with less self-monitoring, an environment where truthful slips often occur.
Give me some background on what you started to tell me out there about what's been going on.
We started dating like
When you say, be specific, if you say we, he, she, I don't know who that is. You know, but I don't. So it's you and Josh?
Yeah, me and Josh. I've known him
And
forever.
that's Josh Camacho, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've known him since like elementary school, and we ended up dating starting, I don't know, like June or July of last year. And when we started dating, I knew Erin, which is the mother of his kid.
Right.
And she started with me to begin with.
When
And
you say she started with you mean causing problems?
Somehow got my phone number, started calling me, started harassing me, telling me she was going to find out where I live, coming to my job. She still does. And then Sarah started not long after that.
How long have you been dating Josh?
I haven't been dating him for about 4 months now, but I dated him for about 6-7 months.
When was that?
Like probably June to, I don't know, like
June of 08?
Yeah.
Through when? Like December, roughly?
Like November, December, yeah.
Okay. And during that time when you were dating him, did you have any problems with any of them?
Yeah, Sarah, we ended up having to call the cops on her one time. We were over off of 82nd coming home from, she started following us from the Taco Bell over by Park Place, on Park Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
We went through the drive.
This was when?
I don't even know.
Just approximately when do you think it was?
Oh, well, I was living in Meridian Palms, so probably like, I don't know, really. A couple months before I moved into my apartment. Probably only like.
Was it before Christmas time?
Like,
okay.
Right around then. We were pulling out of work, we went into the Taco Bell parking lot. Sarah and like 5 of her friends were in a car, and they followed me and my roommate that also works with me. And she knew Josh was living with me at the time, so I don't know if she had intentions on following me to my house or just like attacking us pretty much. But her and all of her friends followed us, and then they pulled in front of my friend Courtney's car. And
was Josh with you at the time?
No, I called him. He was at my house waiting. He actually used to live at my old apartment with me.
At multiple points, the detective pauses after Rachel's statements without immediately responding. These moments of silence are psychologically charged. Humans instinctively fill uncomfortable silences, especially when they fear judgment. By saying nothing, the detective subtly pushes Rachel to elaborate, often contradicting herself or revealing new details. This taps into cognitive dissonance theory, the mental discomfort that arises when one's words don't align perfectly with one's emotions. To relieve that tension, she keeps talking, often revealing information she didn't plan to share.
And they stopped, they all got out of the car, we locked the doors, and then Courtney, the girl that I was in the car with, actually ended up rolling her window down, and they attacked her.
Mm-hmm.
So I called the cops, they questioned us, and they sent us on our way, and I don't think any of them got arrested. I think they all just got taken home because they were out past their curfew.
And that was at the Taco Bell?
That was off of, like, we got to, like, 82nd. They followed us over
So
there.
it was Pinellas Park Police that came out there?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Did you ever get a case number or anything for that you remember?
I don't remember anything.
Okay.
But
was there any physical altercation at that time?
Not with me. With her, yes. They kicked her.
With your friend?
Yeah, they were hitting her through the window.
Okay.
And ever since then, Sarah never really actually came after me. She's made like probably a threat every couple weeks. She'll either private call me or send me an email on MySpace, anything. And Janet, his sister, has also done the same thing. But Sarah.
How long has that been going on?
The threats and everything since me and him started dating.
So back through, if we go back to June of 08.
All the way to like the first week we started dating.
Okay.
Him and the other ex-girlfriend would both tell me that they weren't going to allow me to be with him and that they were going to find out where I lived. Sarah actually called me one day when I lived in Meridian Palms, and she saw pictures of us on my MySpace and said that she wasn't stupid. She looked at my pictures. Not too many apartments were that color, and that she knew where I lived. And maybe 2 nights later, she rode all over his car, slashed his tires, everything.
So when you say Sarah has been making threats since that time frame, what kind of threats are we talking about? Is it, I'm going to beat your ass? Is it, what kind of things is she saying?
Pretty much she was going to beat my ass, or that she was going to kill me because I was with him and she wasn't going to allow it to happen.
Okay. And strictly upset because you're with Josh and she's not at that time. Is that correct?
Well, I think the problem is that he's been with me, her, and Aaron all at the same time. It's just pretty much made it out to where we.
Well, I understand that there's been problems between Sarah and Aaron as well. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
Notice how the detective's questions start soft, about addresses and workplaces, but later transition to violent encounters and motives. This gradual shift is the shifting baseline technique. It mirrors behavioral conditioning, where increasing pressure step by step makes resistance harder to justify. Each small question feels reasonable in isolation, but collectively, they lead the suspect into self-incrimination. Psychologically, the brain adapts to rising intensity. What would have felt invasive at the start now feels normal.
Did you see anything about what happened with Sarah after that at all?
No.
You didn't see ambulance, paramedics, anything?
No. The paramedics came up and talked to me, but that was it.
You didn't see them down at the street working on Sarah at all?
No.
You know what happened to Sarah?
No.
Okay, well, I guess we need to sit and converse about that now, all right? Sarah was stabbed. You're saying you don't know that, all right? Was stabbed and was laying in the middle of the street. Neighbors called. They came out, looked down the street, saw her laying in the street. They called the police. I have at least 2 people that saw that and called, all right, that weren't even involved with you guys. These are just people that heard all the commotion, all right? I also talked to Javier and Dustin, and I talked to Janet and the other girl that was with them as well, okay? How do you think Sarah ended up getting stabbed?
I really don't know. We were all down there, but I don't know.
She's stabbed.
Janet's the one that
she's stabbed. How do you think she got stabbed?
I don't know.
Well, you 2 were the only ones that were physically fighting together, so how did she get stabbed? I mean, she wasn't fighting Janet, and she wasn't fighting, listen to me, she wasn't fighting Janet, she wasn't fighting Dustin or Javier, she wasn't fighting the other girl that was in the car, she was there to fight you, all right, so how do you think she got stabbed?
I don't know.
This is a very pivotal moment for you, okay? They don't call us at 1 o'clock in the morning unless it's something serious, okay? And you're how old? 19 years old. You have your entire life in front of you, and I need you to stop right this minute and think very carefully about your next few statements, okay, about where you want to go and what you want to do with your life, okay? And this isn't a joke, all right? They call us because it's serious when something like this happens, okay?
When the detective finally reveals that Sarah has been stabbed and that neighbors saw her body, the room's energy shifts. According to cognitive load theory, when a person's mental workload spikes suddenly, their ability to fabricate stories plummets. Under stress, maintaining a consistent lie becomes neurologically taxing. Rachel's confused, repetitive denials show the pressure breaking through her composure.
You, at this point, at 19 years old in your life, need to make a decision as to what it is that you're going to tell me next as being the truth. Because right now you're not being honest with me, and you know that, okay? There was 2 people fighting. They may have came and jumped you, okay? But the bottom line is it's you and Sarah that were fighting, okay? She's stabbed and is laying on the ground. Neighbors down the street come out and see her laying in the middle of the street, okay? They called the police. In addition to Javier and Dustin calling, okay? We got multiple calls, okay? Those 2 girls that came with her, Janet and the other girl, have told me that they saw you come up to her and stab her, okay? I talked to Javier and I talked to Dustin. They both told me that you had the knife before this happened and you were sitting with it at the car when you were sitting on the trunk or the hood of your car down at the street when you were arguing with him on the phone, okay, that you had the knife, all right? So by you lying, and I understand that you're scared, okay, but it's important for you to tell me why you did this. If it was for your protection, that's one thing. If it was, you just felt like doing it, that's another thing, okay? But not telling me doesn't help you, okay? Your friends do not want to be involved in this. They were because they're your friends and they're backing you, but they don't want any part of a girl being stabbed laying in the middle of the street. Their mom is very upset. You know, all this attention is brought to her home. The police are out there. We're out, you know, the whole 9 yards. She's embarrassed, her neighbors. Okay, so I'm going to give you an opportunity to tell me again the truth this time about the thing with the knife. Okay, where did you bring it from home when you came or the bar?
Got it from home.
After revealing Sarah's death, the detective's demeanor shifts from friendly to authoritative. His calm tone hardens. He begins framing Rachel's choices as moral crossroads. This is serious. You need to decide where you want your life to go. This mimics the authority principle observed in Stanley Milgram's experiments, where individuals comply with authoritative figures who project control and moral gravity. Rachel, just 19 and emotionally destabilized, subconsciously repositions the detective as a figure of judgment rather than conversation, increasing her susceptibility to guidance and confession.
Okay, what kind of knife is it?
It's just a regular kitchen knife.
Just like something you'd get out of a butcher block kind of thing? What does it look like? Can you describe it?
It just had a black handle on it and it was about that long.
A serrated edge? Okay. When you had it with you, you had it in the car with you, right? And you drove over to Javier's house. Why did you have it with you?
Because they said that they were going to find my car and follow me, and she threatened to kill me.
So are you telling me that you had it for some form of protection?
Yeah, because I know they're going to jump me. I know Josh's family.
Okay.
Josh has hit me before. Josh's brother's threatened to hit me before.
Do you have a gun or anything else?
No.
Okay, so that was your form of protection. Okay, so when you got in the car tonight to go over to their house, you had it in your hand, all right, and you brought it with you. When you were arguing with Josh, you had it, is that right?
I have it in my seat.
Okay, and did they tell you to put it away?
No, they didn't say anything.
Javier and Dustin didn't?
No, Javier asked me why I had it, and he said, do you really think, I told him it's so, like, if they see it, they'll leave me alone. Hopefully they'd just go away.
Right.
And he was like, because I guess Josh has come to his house with a gun before. He said that weapons don't scare them, and it wasn't going to do anything to them. And that was kind of the end of the conversation. He said, you know, they're not going to stop at anything.
Okay.
As the interview nears its turning point, the detective gives Rachel two options. She either acted in self-defense or just felt like doing it. This is the forced binary technique, grounded in cognitive simplification theory. Under pressure, humans prefer simple, binary choices. They feel easier to process than open-ended complexity. By eliminating the gray areas, the detective corners Rachel into admitting intent. Whichever option she chooses, guilt is already built into the framework.
I had it out when Sarah got there, hoping that she would just, like, walk away from me or see it and think that I was actually going to do something, and they both came after me.
All right, Rachel, walk me through it. You're sitting there, they pull up, Sarah gets out, you go out to the street where she's at, okay? Because she's right in front of the car, okay? To the front of her car. What happened when you encountered her?
She just started screaming at me, and she laughed at me and said I wasn't going to do anything, and then she realized that I had a knife, and she kind of backed up, and then she started swinging on me anyways, and I just...
When you say she started swinging on you, what was she doing?
She started punching me in my face.
Flailing at you?
Yeah.
Punching?
And then I saw Janet coming around.
And where were you holding the knife at the time?
I just had it out to the side, and then I saw Janet coming at me, and I saw the other girl come around the back end of the car, and they were all screaming at me, and Janet was telling me that I was crazy and I wasn't going to do anything, and then, like, she said that she wished I would stab her.
Who said that?
Janet.
Said, I wish you'd stab me?
Yeah, she said, I bet you won't stab me, I wish you would. And when Sarah was hitting me, I went to hit her, and I really did not mean stab her. Okay. I'm not going to kill somebody.
Tell me how it happened.
She was hitting me, and when I went to hit her back, I had put one of my hands up, and I tried to hit her back and keep my hands in front of me.
This is the knife. Show me how you were holding it. Okay? But now, if I'm Sarah and I'm in front of you, what were you doing with the knife? How did you
had it out to the side, and she started swinging on me, and then when I went to put my hands out, she was swinging on me, and I tried to defend myself from her, and then Janet came at me from the side. And I guess I did not mean to stab her at all.
How many times did you stab her?
I guess once.
Okay, do you know where it hit her at?
No, I don't. I didn't see anything. I had both of them coming at me and Sarah hitting me to begin with.
Rather than confronting Rachel aggressively, the detective acknowledges her fear. I understand you're scared. This empathetic mirroring triggers emotional reciprocity, where people subconsciously match the emotional tone of the person they're engaging with. By showing empathy, the detective invites Rachel to reciprocate with vulnerability. This emotional opening often precedes critical admissions, because confession, at its core, feels like the only way to maintain that fragile emotional connection.
After you stabbed her, did she go to the ground, fall to the ground?
I didn't see that. When she was screaming at Janet after that, she was screaming, "Janet, get in the car, your kids." That's all she would say. And then I didn't see her. And I still heard her yelling her name. That's all I heard was, "Janet, Janet, get in the car."
Okay. So Sarah didn't have any weapon with her at all, right? She wasn't carrying a bat or a gun or a knife that you saw, right? Okay. And you went out and you met her in the street, came up to her side of the car where she was getting out of. Is that right?
I stepped in, in the front of my car, yeah. And then when she started screaming at me, and then Janet started coming around the side, so I walked over a little bit further.
But initially it was just you and Sarah, because you said Sarah was, and is that how your lip got hit?
I think Janet did that. I don't know. Sarah kind of hit me in the side of my head more than anything, and in my stomach once. But when Sarah was hitting me, I saw Janet come this way, and the other girl got out of the other side of the car and walked around from the back towards me.
Okay. So after that was done, and I know you said you were being dragged around by Janet and whatnot, when you went back up to the house, what did you do with the knife once you had it?
I threw it.
Where?
Towards the neighbor's house.
If you're facing Javier's house, to the left side, just in the grass, over the fence, what?
Threw it up. I don't know where it landed.
Up on the roof?
I don't know if it was on the roof or in their backyard or just threw it.
And how long would you say the knife is?
Probably like that.
Then you went up and sat on the porch. And then took off.
No, Janet kept coming after me. Janet, followed me and kept coming after me.
And they stayed there then? Do you know what my job is? What?
To take care of things like this and make sure things like this don't happen.
Well, I understand that. That's overall the police's job. But my specific job, do you know what it is?
To figure out the details of everything.
Well, that's part of it. You're correct. My real title is I'm a homicide detective. Okay? They called me because of the serious nature of her injuries. Okay? She was stabbed.
Throughout, the detective maintains composure, never raising his voice, never showing anger. This calculated calmness represents authoritative suggestion theory, the notion that authority is most persuasive when presented as controlled and rational, not aggressive. Rachel perceives him as the voice of reason in chaos, making her more susceptible to his interpretations of events. When he labels her actions as not self-defense, she doesn't challenge him. She internalizes it. His calm tone redefines moral order. She follows it.
Did you get a chance to call him? Mm-hmm. Okay. Here's the next thing that you need to understand, Rachel. Okay. When I was down at the hospital, okay, I saw where she was stabbed at. Okay, it looks like she has 2 stab wounds. All right. The next piece of information that you need to know is that she is dead. Okay, she died as a result of these stab wounds that she had at Northside Hospital.
I didn't know what any of this happened. I just wanted them to finally leave me alone.
All this over Josh?
I just didn't want them to terrorize me anymore. They follow me everywhere. They come to my job. They come to my house.
Well, she's not going to follow you anymore because she's dead now.
Oh, my God. I should have just stayed home, but every time I call the cops, they don't do anything. They don't. They tell me that they have to have physical proof of them injuring me or something.
Well, here's the deal. We have to work with what the law says, and I understand the frustration, okay? But tonight is not the night that you go out into the street and bring a knife to the fight, okay? If you see that they pull up, that's when you run inside. The law does not say that you get to go out and start a fight in the middle of the street and bring a knife with you. It doesn't say that you get to do that.
I did not want to fight her. I wanted them to see the knife and just leave. I didn't want them to come after me.
But when that didn't happen, why didn't you just go away?
I don't know. I'm tired of running away from everybody. I would have rather gotten my ass kicked and then just left me alone afterwards. I really did not want all of them to come after me. If she would have just fought me, I would not have even, if it was just her that pulled up, I would have just put it down and let her just fight me. That's the point that I was at. I just wanted her to fight me and get it over with. I don't care anymore. A guy is not that important to me.
Well, this guy has now completely ruined your life.
The detective withholds the fact of Sarah's death until halfway through the interrogation, then drops it suddenly. She's dead. Rachel. According to affective disruption theory, emotional overload disrupts a person's cognitive regulation, replacing calculated thought with spontaneous, emotionally driven responses. By delivering the death news at the precise moment Rachel's guard was lowest, the detective triggered raw guilt, fear, and grief, all emotions that make honesty feel like emotional relief.
I didn't even think that I could do that. I didn't.
You didn't think a knife could kill somebody?
I did not even think that I really stabbed her. I thought I might have cut her. I didn't think I stabbed her at all. I was barely swinging. No, I didn't see anything. Janet just dragged me. I didn't get a chance to see anything at all, or I would have called the cops myself. I didn't mean to stab her. I was just swinging in my defense, and I did. I should have dropped the knife. I can't. It's not my intention at all.
Rachel, this is where you're going to have to help me out, because it's not defense to me when you go out into the street with the knife and confront them. Okay? Defense is, I'm sitting on my porch, these girls come running up to me and they threaten me, and now I defend myself. You're sitting on your car, you said that you had already discussed it with Javier about having it with you and how it was going to be a deterrent to keep them away, and he didn't think it was a good idea, thought you should put it away. Next thing you know, they're pulling up and you're running out into the street with it in your hand. I don't understand how that's defense. Explain that to me.
I don't know. I just wanted them to see it and go away. I just wanted them to see that I was serious, and I had no intentions. I'm 19. I don't want to kill somebody. I don't care if she's with him or not. That guy's not that important for her. Like, she could be with him.
Then why were you doing this? If it wasn't important, if this guy wasn't important, you have just ruined your entire life because of this idiot. You keep telling me that he wasn't important, but you went out and you did this anyways. If he's not important, then stop talking to him. Stop texting him. Stop communicating with him. Don't speak to him ever again. Just go away. Then there is no conversation. Then there is no problem.
When Rachel insists she didn't mean to stab Sarah, the detective calmly highlights contradictions. You had a knife in your hand. How do you hit someone with that? This controlled confrontation creates cognitive dissonance. The discomfort arising from holding conflicting beliefs, I didn't mean to hurt her versus I stabbed her twice. To resolve that tension, suspects often modify their story toward coherence, which usually means closer to the truth. Rachel's eventual acceptance that she might have stabbed once is her subconscious effort to reduce that psychological discomfort.
In resolving this, did you say, why don't you come over here and fight me?
No, she told me to meet her at her house, and I told her I was not going to her house. She was like, why not? Then I can
Did you tell her to come over and meet you there?
No, I didn't tell her I was at his house.
Did you say, I'm going to kill you if you come over here?
No, I told her in the beginning, the only thing I ever said is Josh, and she heard me. I guess I was on speakerphone because she started yelling when I said, Josh, if I fight her, what is that going to do for me? Are you going to be my prize? Like, sarcastically. Because I know, regardless, if I fight her, he's still not just going to be with me. That was not, like...
So that was it?
That's how they think.
Is that how you went into this, thinking that if I come over here and I beat her up, then he's mine? Is
no, I know he won't. That's the whole point. That's what I told him.
Why did you do it?
I don't...
What was the point? You were at another location. You could have just stopped calling and texting. What was the point?
I don't know. I really don't know. I should have just stayed home.
What would have happened if you stayed home? Would
They
this have
would have
happened
probably
tonight?
came and I would have had to call the cops and
Right.
nothing would
And
have
would
been
you be
done,
sitting in a police department tonight?
No.
Would you be sitting here and me telling you that you just killed this girl tonight?
No.
Is there anything else that you can tell me that's going to help shed some light on this tonight?
I don't know. I'm just sick of being so scared of these people. Like, I can't believe this happened. My best friend, one of my best friends was shot and killed. I would never, physically try to kill somebody. That was not my intention. I really did not mean to hit her with a knife. I even tried.
You're 19. You have to know that holding a knife in your hand, whether you intended to or not, if you stab somebody, the risk of that is the knife is a deadly weapon. You know that. You're 19. You know that people die from stab wounds. You have to know that. Is that correct? You know people who have been stabbed or heard about it, right? So if you're holding a knife during a fight, the chance of that happening obviously increases dramatically. It's not like you were in the kitchen cutting, vegetables. You were out in the street holding it in a fight.
As Rachel begins to cry, the detective reinforces the inevitability of her situation. You can't undo what's done. You've ruined your life in a few minutes. This strategy taps into learned helplessness theory, where repeated reminders of hopeless outcomes diminish resistance. When a suspect feels their fate is sealed, resistance feels pointless, and confession becomes the only meaningful action left. Rachel's shift from denial, "I didn't do it," to regret, "I should have just stayed home," shows the surrender phase of psychological helplessness.
Rachel, I'm not here to condemn you or judge you, and I feel bad that you got caught up in a situation in this triangle between Josh and these other girls. But I do hold you responsible for bringing this knife tonight. You understand that? And you, as a 19-year-old, despite your age, still have to recognize the fact that when you bring a knife into a situation like that, that the possibility of somebody being injured or killed is dramatically increased. You understand that, right? I mean, you are a very young, person who has their entire life ahead of them, and you have just ruined it in a matter of a few minutes of fighting with these girls in the street.
The detective carefully balances accountability with empathy. "I feel bad you got caught up in this, yet you have to understand you brought the knife." This approach follows moral rationalization theory, which suggests that offering partial absolution lowers resistance to admitting guilt. By reframing Rachel's act as a mistake rather than pure malice, he gives her a psychological pathway to confess without fully shattering her self-concept.
Rachel, what's your parents' name?
It's very.
Should they live up in Autumn Run? What's their phone number? What's her address? Do they work?
Yes.
Time do they usually go to work?
Around 6 in the morning.
They get up at that time or they leave at that time?
I think my mom leaves around 7. I don't know. My dad's schedule varies.
What kind of work do they do?
My dad dad works for Tree of Life. It's a food service, and my mom works for an elementary school.
What does she do?
She's a teacher's assistant for, I think, speech impaired kids.
Here's the situation. All right. Like I said to you, I was down at the hospital earlier. I have to go this morning at 10:30 to an autopsy for her. Okay. What's going to happen now is you're going to be charged at this point, okay, and taken up to the Pinellas County Jail. Okay. What have your charges been for in the past?
A domestic battery, and I think it was dropped because they found out that I didn't hit my ex-boyfriend. He hit me, but I was 18, he was 17. Other than that, nothing.
Near the end, the detective asks for her parents' details, then offers to call them himself before they wake up. This is a calculated attachment theory tactic. By invoking parental figures, symbols of care, and moral guidance, the detective regresses the suspect psychologically to a childlike state of dependency. Once emotional regression occurs, the suspect's need for approval resurfaces. Rachel's request, "Please call them," shows she's no longer managing her defense. She's seeking emotional rescue, signaling full psychological submission.
I'm here to judge you. Obviously, I feel that you've been caught up in a horrible situation. You know, I wish you would have seen your way out of it. It sounds like your parents were trying to tell you to get out of it. You had friends that were telling you to get out of it. And then here we are, you know, tonight or this morning. And now this girl's dead. And I'm certainly, you know, not excusing her. She's not an angel, obviously, as to, you know, the threats that she's made towards you or whatnot. But, you know, these are the things that happen when you make the decisions to bring a gun or a knife or things like that to a situation like this. Did you ever think this would happen to you?
No.
Think of anything else? We're going to go sit in that other conference room, all right? You can have some more to drink if you need to use the restroom or whatever. I'm going to call your parents before they get out of the house and let them know what's going on, okay? Because I don't want them going to work and then finding out and having to, you know, whatever, if you want me to. Otherwise, they're not going to find out until you call them from the jail, and that's probably not the place to be doing it from, okay? Is that what you want me to do?
Please.
Okay. So we're going to go sit over there, and we're going to do some paperwork, and we'll be getting you out of here in just a little bit, okay? You want some more to drink?
Please.
The final tactic is subtle but powerful. After the confession, the detective gently transitions to logistical tasks. Autopsy timing, formal charges, paperwork. This creates a cognitive closure moment. According to cognitive completion theory, once an emotionally draining event is framed as resolved, the brain seeks relief in finality. Rachel's passive compliance during arrest and her subdued tone reflect this mental exhaustion. She's accepted the detective's narrative as the truth, and her silence signals psychological surrender.
The judge listened to several emotional loved ones go before him before he made his ruling on Rachel Wade's sentencing. In fact, the father of the murdered girl went before the judge saying he believes in the saying, an eye for an eye. He wanted the maximum of life in prison. But the convicted killer, Rachel Wade, went before the judge herself. She apologized to the family and then went on to say she's a changed woman and now she wants to help others to prevent the tragedy between her and Sarah Ludemann from happening again.
In 2010, Rachel Wade was convicted of second-degree murder for the fatal stabbing of 18-year-old Sarah Ludemann during a violent confrontation fueled by jealousy over a mutual boyfriend. The court found that Wade had armed herself with a kitchen knife and willingly entered the altercation, undermining her claim of self-defense. During sentencing, Judge Joseph Bulon emphasized that Wade's decision to bring a deadly weapon into a volatile situation demonstrated intent and recklessness, not fear or spontaneity. The prosecution presented threatening voicemails and prior confrontations as evidence of escalating aggression, portraying Wade as the instigator rather than the victim. After a brief jury deliberation, Wade was found guilty and sentenced to 27 years in Florida State Prison. The judge noted that her youth did not absolve her responsibility, stressing that jealousy and anger had led to a deliberate act of violence with irreversible consequences for both families involved.